Hi, this is Dr. Frank Layman. I'd like to thank you for joining me, and I'd like to welcome you. Today, I'd like to talk about being a mentor and why it is so important and rewarding. Mentorship is a relationship in which a more experienced and more knowledgeable person guides a less experienced or less knowledgeable person in the pursuit of growing and developing an understanding and application of skills. This relationship is so precarious and it's so important that it is giving on both sides, giving in an ethical, true, and sincere way. And anyone who's had a bad mentor, I personally am one. You didn't really have a mentor. You had somebody whose intent was to take advantage of your desire to advance. We have to be good judges. We have to be discerning in who we choose in our environments, as we've discussed before. So being younger, I was very naive and fell prey to someone who acted as though they wanted to help me when their intention was only to take from me. Now, that relationship, if you could call it that, was only valuable in one way. I call it the Frank rule of 180. I knew when I was a leader, when I got to the position of the highest part of the hierarchy, that I would never conduct myself in that way. That I would never prey on other people. That what I would do is truly grow and develop people. Those people who I help, I would give my all to them. Now, when the tables were turned and I was giving my all and mentoring people, I sometimes chose the wrong people and gave people who weren't deserving and weren't going to pass that baton on. So again, discernment is very important. Before you choose a mentor, before you choose a mentee, you have to have some sense of a filter, a screen to choose wisely. And then as the process is going along, you really need to be able to discern quickly if they're still worthy of this relationship. So, how do we know the true intent of someone? Well, when your thoughts, your words, your intent line up with action, that's when you know. And it's very confusing because people can say whatever you want to hear, and then in action, they can show themselves not to be true. So, seems confusing. It isn't. I'm just suggesting that before you venture into this area of helping others, make sure you're really looking at that person and not the desire just to get skills or knowledge or information from them, or to utilize them in a way that is only for your own benefit. Because the true heart of mentorship is this real and true give and take relationship that is ultimately going to benefit all. Because when we lift each other, we all elevate. When we take and push down and try to take advantage, ultimately that course of action is not gonna succeed. Leadership is a skill and it transcends every environment condition. We don't always look at it as a fundamental skill or formal skill to be trained or learned, but that's exactly what it is. I'm advocating that is essentially what leadership and professionalism are. A true, healthy leadership is needed because it sustains success in any endeavor for a prolonged period of time. Those businesses with a healthy, more rational leadership have a competitive advantage and greater sustainability. Sustainability will be limited if the value, skills, and disposition of a culture of leadership are not passed on. And that is where mentoring has its greatest positive impact. A true succession plan for a person or a company starts with a mission beyond self-interest. Succession is dependent on the passage of a leadership, and the most effective vehicle for that is mentorship. The calling of a true leader is to develop those around them, to create an environment fit and ready to accomplish the mission at hand while preparing for the next advancement. This paradigm should be adopted by a rational leader because it allows opportunity for growth, sustainability, and a legacy. If we can see the importance of attempting to translate leadership characteristics, and actual responsibilities, then we have to agree on what a leader is. A leader has to sustain morale, encourage, teach, coach, train, address deficiencies by being reliable, trustworthy, ethical, and effective. They have to grow and develop these qualities in themselves and those they are responsible for. We develop ourselves when we develop others. The virtue of mentoring goes well beyond the transposition of knowledge. It truly is of translating understanding, skill, and effectiveness to another. Mentoring is fundamental to the passage of leadership and is how we leave a legacy or our indelible mark. There is a great responsibility to take on the challenge of mentoring because it requires a great effort to seek to do the best possible job in developing someone else. There's also responsibility for the mentee not to take advantage of the kindness and assistance they are being given. There begins a paradox. The old guard gives up its knowledge and can become vulnerable in its uselessness. Some unethical systems or people take advantage of this state of translation to eliminate the old guard. This tactic may have short-term effectiveness, but the impact of the unethical scheming is going to have long-term negative implications. The implication is that it creates a new negative culture established with uncertainty, doubt, and mistrust. A culture without trust is a mob soon to disperse or destruct. Establishing a culture of leadership requires exhibiting values, then teaching them, and all being able to depend on them. Wisdom in leadership is balance. Balance in response, an individualizing response to challenge, difficulty, or hardship, while maintaining steadfast to principles and self-efficacy. To the point that transparency in leadership reveals something worthy in the leader, that is illuminating and worthy of emulating. Those characteristics too subtle to observe need to be articulated, and that is where mentoring has its most direct and profound impact on the passage of success. A good leader tells, a great leader teaches, a true leader enables. There is a complexity of variables that allows for someone to be successful, and the higher you ascend in a career, the harder it is to solve complex problems. It really requires mentoring to ascend further than we can climb on our own. So each progressive generation should be climbing higher. Again, not everyone is worthy of the time, effort, so be objective. Don't choose in either direction carelessly. It takes discernment in where to invest your time, and time is essentially the most valuable resource we have. Do not squander it with someone or an environment that isn't mutually giving and healthy. Vet those you mentor and those you want to be mentored by. The wrong type of person will assail your kindness. This is not to excuse not to reach out. Fear does not determine the courageous actions that beckon us. So is it scary to mentor someone if you've mentored people in the past who've done you wrong? Sure it is. Should that stop you? No. Screen better, act quicker, and still be as giving. Be courageous in this endeavor. Your leadership paradigm needs to be part of your inner self, displayed in a way that can be received without interpretation. Being transparent, true, competent, reliable are the best ways to imprint yourself on your culture and be a sustaining influencer. For all, there is a virtue in doing virtuous acts. Seeking to better yourself will allow you to do that. Seeking to better someone else will allow you to better yourself. Mentorship is a great opportunity to advance others and yourself. A candle loses nothing by lighting another candle. That's an Italian proverb. It really speaks to my heart, and I hope it speaks to yours. And I hope if you haven't taken on the challenge of mentoring someone, and you have the capability, skills, acumen, and heart to do it, I hope you'll have the courage and you'll make the time to do it. I want to thank you all again for joining me. Until next time, thank you.